Hi Cancer, you'll notice at the beginning the light is going to be different in your reading, and at the beginning that's because the beginning was messed up and I had to redo it at a different time. So apologies, but I'll begin. So Cancer, today we're going to look at August 9th, 2025, and that's the full moon in Aquarius. We'll look at Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising with specific messages for each. We'll look at numerology, astrology, and these tarot cards. And we'll end the reading with advice for your sign. And in the description box below, I have links for meditations for each of these tarot cards that I drew for you today. And if you feel seen today, please subscribe and stay tuned for your next reading. Tell me what messages hit home for you today, and let's talk about it in the comments. I read all the comments, and I will reply to each and every one because I'm a Virgo and I can't help it. So let's start with numerology, and the number for that day is 8, and the number 8 represents empowerment, integrity, and transformation through efforts. So for Cancer, this number encourages you to reclaim control in areas where you felt taken advantage of or emotionally drained. It's time to return to your center and lead from grounded strength. So you may feel the urge to reset boundaries, especially with people who have been draining your time or trust. This is a day to protect your energy and own your power, not by confrontation, but by clarity. In astrology, the full moon activates your 8th house of transformation, emotional depth, shared resources, and truth beneath the surface. This is your invitation to release emotional baggage and make peace with what's being hidden, denied, or avoided. So now we'll start with the Sun. And the Sun is in Leo. That's your 2nd house. That's going to talk about self-worth, security, and values. So you're being asked to examine whether your values are reflected in the way you use your time, money, and energy. So you might feel conflicted about giving too much to others, especially when it leaves your own needs unmet. Today is the day to rebalance. Here's the moon, and the moon is in Aquarius, your 8th house, and that's going to talk about intimacy, power, and emotional truth. So this new moon encourages you to look at what's beneath the surface of your emotional life. That's fears and secrets and old patterns. So you may uncover a truth about a relationship or financial entanglement that shifts how you move forward. Honesty heals. Here's Mercury. Mercury is in Virgo, that's your 3rd house, and that's going to talk about communication and truth-telling. Mercury makes you detail-oriented and precise. Use this influence to speak clearly, think logically, and gather the facts. So you may write a powerful message or journal about a confusing situation to finally gain insight. Here's Venus. Venus is in Leo, that's your 2nd house. That's going to talk about value and self-worth. So Venus wants you to treat yourself like royalty. Reaffirm your self-worth and make decisions that reflect your value. You could decide to say no to something that once tempted you simply because it doesn't honor who you are. Then we have Mars. And Mars is in Gemini, your 12th house. And that's going to talk about hidden energy and inner healing. So Mars in this quiet house asks you to confront your inner frustrations, subconscious habits, or self-sabotage patterns. So you might catch yourself procrastinating or falling into old thought loops and finally decide to cut them loose. Get up there. So now we're going to talk about the tarot cards. And first one I pulled for you was the World, and it came out reversed. What does that mean? That talks about unfinished business, delay, and stuck cycles. So when reversed, the World shows that something is almost complete, But something is still keeping the cycle open. Closure is delayed, perhaps because you haven't fully let go, or because you need to see the lesson more clearly first. So you might feel like you're stuck in a loop, repeating conversations, thoughts, or habits that you thought you were done with. Maybe you're still emotionally entangled with someone, or waiting for the right moment to move on. So here's your advice. Reflect on what's keeping this door open. Closure might not come from the outside. It might require a choice within you to stop looking back. Then I got another reverse card, and that's the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords reversed talks about truth revealed and coming clean and ending self-deception. This reversal exposes what's been hidden, whether by others or by yourself. It often points to secrets surfacing or realization that you've been avoiding the truth. So you might discover someone's who hasn't been entirely honest, or realize that you've been pretending things are okay when they aren't. It's a mental blindfold and it's coming off. So here's your advice. Be honest with yourself first and then with others. This is your chance to clear the air, clean the slate, and free yourself from lies, spoken or unspoken. But finally, I'm sorry, that's my dog barking. Finally, the Five of Swords. But this talks about conflict, winning at a cost, and emotional fallout. So this card represents tension and arguments or mind games. Even if you win, it might not feel good. So this energy calls for walking away from petty battles and choosing peace over ego. So you might have had a disagreement recently that's been lingering in your heart, or feel like you can't say what you really want to. And there's emotional noise and emotional residue. Well, I'm not done. So here's the advice. Ask yourself, is this worth fighting for, or is it time to disengage and move forward in peace? Let the battle go. Your peace is more valuable than being right. Now let's talk about how this day affects Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So Cancer, Sun. You're being asked to release something you've been mentally and emotionally holding on to. A part of your identity wants freedom. You may need to choose that release intentionally. So you might realize you've outgrown a job or a title or a label you've been clinging to, and now it's time to step into a new version of yourself, even if it's uncertain. Cancer, Moon. Your emotional world is highly intuitive today, but vulnerable to overthinking. There may be lingering tension or emotional clutter that's asking to be lovingly cleared. So you might cry after a conversation you thought didn't affect you. This is your body's way of processing emotional weight you've been carrying too long. Cancer, Rising. People may sense that you're going through something. There's a quiet intensity in your energy, even if you appear calm. Deep transformation is underway. So for example, you might be quieter than usual today, choosing to observe rather than engage. So behind the scenes, you're making major emotional decisions about what stays and what goes. So here's a summary of what this day means for you, Cancer. So this full moon invites deep release and emotional honesty. It's time to close an old chapter or admit the truth and choose peace, even if it means walking away from something familiar. So the world reversed shows you're on the edge of closure. One final choice can release you. The Seven of Swords reversed exposes truth and invites integrity, and the Five of Swords reminds you to value peace over pride and clarity over conflict. So here's the real life takeaway. Closure is yours when you choose it. Face the truth with courage. It's more freeing than you expect. Walk away from battles that drain you. Your emotional energy is too precious. So here's the advice for Cancer on this day. Let the past end with dignity. Be honest, even if it stings. And when conflict knocks, choose your peace over the need to prove a point. You're not here to stay stuck. You're here to evolve. Thank you, Cancer, and I hope to see you in another reading. In astrology, we're going to start with the sun. I'm going to say that that's not where we're starting. This is your invitation to release emotional bandwidth. I don't even know what that is. Branglage? No. Let's get untied. Okay. But something is still taking the cycle. But no, not taking it anywhere. Just brain fart. This reversal exposes it? I'm tongue-tied today. After a conversation you thought you didn't, my God. Or, and,